Hello and welcome to another pandemic update video for the United States on September 28th, 2022. 68.5% of the country is in high transmission. Substantial transmission makes up 19.83% of the cases, moderates 8.35%, low is 3.32% of the cases. Varying proportions. BA.5 makes up 83.1% of the cases, 4.6 is 11.9% of the cases, BF.7 is 2.3% of the cases, BA.4 is 1.4% of the cases, and 2.75 is 1.4% of the cases. Alright, taking a look at today's cases. First off, you're going to see cases and deaths are really high today. 247,015 cases. 1,097 deaths. And the problem with this is everyone's probably looking at these numbers right now thinking, whoa, deaths and cases were really high today. There's a disclaimer, and this is one of the big reasons why I'm doing this video tonight. We haven't done a pandemic update video in a while, but people need to understand the disclaimer. While yes, these numbers are bad, and while deaths are especially bad because that's a big addition to the total death count, let's run through the data here. Test 565,645 tests. So now let's raise even more red flags. You got 247,000 cases and only 565,000 tests. That's like a 50% positivity rate. But follow along with me here. There's a reason for this. Hospitalizations 28,195. That's down by 61. Currently in the ICU 3,380. That's down by 17. All right, let's take a look at the national chart here. Or national map here. You'll see the northeast states are still rising, but then you'll see something that really catches your eye here. Iowa plus 4,316%. Well, why could that be? Let's come down here to Iowa, shall we? Iowa is very well worth looking at. Iowa, 126,828 cases. Let's click on Iowa. Take this into further detail. Iowa had a huge backlog of cases. They may have added reinfections. It may be a combination of that and a backlog of cases. Don't know, but Iowa 126,000 is suspect, and that did cause the number to be high today. There's another reason why the number's high today. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the military today added 32,464 cases. And there's yet another disclaimer when it comes to cases. Hawaii had 12,755 cases today, which is up over 1,000%. That's huge. Let's click on Hawaii. Chances are Hawaii has not updated in a while. Well, look at the past couple weeks. 1,343, 1,132. There's a big backlog of cases here. That's the reason why Hawaii is so high. Let's click on the military, shall we? Deal with the military is they have not updated in a really long time. Therefore, this explains why the cases are so high today around the country, which are at 247,000 cases. Now, there's also a couple other reasons. Weekly backlogs and, just the daily cases in general. So, New York State today puts up their reinfections. That totals it to 13,018 cases. Pennsylvania, weekly report, 15,205 cases. North Carolina, 13,882 cases. Again, weekly report. New Jersey, which we have been watching rise, is starting to slow its rise a little bit. 2,512 cases. And do we have any other weekly totals? Kansas, 2,645 cases. Now, sticking with Kansas, this is where the next disclaimer comes in hand. Remember the deaths were so high? Well, look what happened in Kansas today. They added a whopping 476 deaths. Last week's report only had 7 deaths. Week prior, 45. Week prior, 8, 12, 10, 13. So yeah, it kind of makes sense that there was a huge backlog in deaths from Kansas. Therefore, the only thing this does do is it makes the actual total go up higher, but it also proves that the summer wave, there were more deaths than we knew about during the summer wave. They were claiming, oh, it's less severe, the deaths are lower. Well, guess what? we keep adding backlogs from various states that didn't report very many deaths over the summer, it's going to look a lot worse than it initially was. Another disclaimer. We're seeing a lot of people starting to suddenly die. Cardiac arrest has become very common lately. Breaking news, Coolio died of cardiac arrest this evening. He was just performing at, I believe it was somewhere in Chicago, not too long ago. Perfectly healthy and fine. Just dropped dead. Now, I can't confirm or deny whether he had a COVID infection, but chances are he did, because most in the entertainment industry at this point have been infected. And he may have gotten infected there and didn't know it, and now he passed away. So you're seeing where I'm coming from here? It's showing here things are not as less severe as they claim it to be, and things are just really bad right now. And let's take a look at Walgreens real quickly, like we always like to do. Maine. The positivity in Maine is now 35.1%. That's up 8.7%. New York State continues to break new records for Walgreens positivity, 35.5% with higher testing. Pennsylvania, 24%. That is starting to rise ever so slightly again. And we had our weekly update here in Pennsylvania today. And the one thing I noticed, and I should mention, HHS updates 5 days a week. We're going to come down to HHS hospitalizations for Pennsylvania. 1,725. So this is at the higher end of where we have been bouncing back and forth from. We've been bouncing back between 1,450 and just over 1,700 all summer long. Now we're coming back to the higher end again, which is interesting. We'll have to see what happens. And if we take a look at Royal, Pennsylvania, I like to use Center County, Pennsylvania. It's a great look at Royal, Pennsylvania, because right in the middle of the county, you get Penn State University and State College. Surrounding that, it's all rural area. Well, look here. Each week, the COVID hospitalizations keep bouncing back and peaking around 17 by about close to the end of the week. Well, look what's happening. We're at 17 already. It's been very consistent week to week. And it'll be very interesting tomorrow to see if it breaks that 17 and goes higher. And another case of things trending higher, take a look at New York State hospitalizations here. Remember, the trend was highest on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, then drop, then drop, then drop, then drop. And each Tuesday and Wednesday was a little lower than the previous week. Well, now look what's happening. Higher Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll just say. No, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then drop Friday and Saturday. That's right. New York State updates Tuesdays through Saturdays for the hospitalizations. So far this week, much higher on Tuesday. Today, ever so slightly higher. So the next few days will possibly maybe drop, but we'll have to wait and see. And real quickly, take a look at the admissions for New York State. The hospital admissions for New York State, we're going to zoom this in. That's not hospital admissions. Here they are. They are starting to creep up again, especially this week. There was 897 reported on Tuesday of this week. The previous Tuesday was 814. Previous Tuesday before that was 798. So they are starting to go up again. And this is concerning. We saw, if we go back to Walgreens, New York State's at the highest positivity ever. So good chances are that New York State's missing a ton of cases. 4,800 cases today officially without reinfections, and the positivity rate is 7.0%. Taking a look at Texas today, 1,751 people in the hospital. Actually, I think we need to refresh that. That is not today's number. Okay, so they haven't updated in a while. It's still 1,751 people in the hospital. And the COVID positivity is at 10.04%, about to drop below 10%. The wild card becomes, how low is it going to go after that? I don't really know. Eventually it's going to turn around, but for the time being, it's still dropping. And you can see here, it's not as fast as a drop as the previous winter wave, but it's a pretty significant drop, and it's continuing to drop. So we'll have to see how low it goes, and eventually that is going to reverse. Okay, that's all I have for you guys today. We'll do another video tomorrow of something else in relation to the pandemic. And remember, continue masking in all places. If you're going to get gas, just wear gloves. Those gas pumps are really dirty. I do it because of monkeypox and just because of germs in general. They're just always dirty. Alright, remember to hit the like and subscribe button down below. And thanks for watching this video. Stay safe, everyone. See you next time.